Hello there, this is Laureen Jandroep, and I'm going to attempt to record how to create a little virtual business organization system using free tools from Google. It's unscripted, I don't even have an outline. I got my kids in the background, there you go, watching cartoons. Hopefully you can see that it's fairly easy. So I'm going to go to Gmail. And if you already have a Gmail account, what I recommend you do is open a browser that you don't normally use Gmail in. Um, and of course, this is recognize me, so I'm going to log out here. And this is what you want. You want to come to a blank one where it's prompting you to sign in, because what we want to do is create a new account. Separate your business Gmail from your personal. Yes, you'll have to log into two accounts. There's actually a way where you could merge it, but when you see this at the end, you'll see why it's actually a smart idea to keep them separate. So we're going to create a new account. And we just need to put in a name. So I'm going to create a demo account. I'm going to use my maiden name here. Lori Brackett. And a username, I'm going to put L Brackett Test. Password. Confirm it. Write it down. Birthday. Gender, I'm female. Mobile phone. They will check things with your phone, so put that in. I'm actually going to put all right, and my current email address that I want it to go to. This is kind of like a backup. If I can spell. Prove you're not a robot. Oops, no. We're just going to type this in. I hate these things. O-T-A-H-Y-L theorem. T-H-E-O-R-E-M. I'm in the United States. I agree to the policy. Next step. How you'll appear, Lori Brackett. Now, what we did for ours is we used our handle that we chose when we became a marketing consultant for Ambit. So our handle is Lower My Energy Bill Now. Yeah, I know, nice long one. Learn from our mistakes. So you could pick just your last name, just pick something that's going to represent this. Now, if you don't want people that you're going to be contacting the first time from this email account to know that your business is Ambit Energy Business, you want them to take a look first, then pick a more generic name. You know, if your name is Mary Smith, make it, Mary Smith in whatever your area code is, or Mary Smith, you know, biz, or you get the idea. But this is what's going to appear when you send emails to people. Okay, and you can add a profile photo later, but that's always good to do, because when people get emails, if they see your picture, they immediately feel a connection. It's not this like logo or something cold. So do try and get a headshot photo up as soon as you can. All right, so welcome Lori, continue to Gmail. All right, so my L Brackett test account is set up. And you're going to get your initial 3 emails from Gmail and all the normal startup stuff. So I'm going to select, which selects all of these, and I'm just going to archive. My system is you always want your inbox to 0. If you've processed every email, you shouldn't have anything in your inbox except new stuff that's come in since the last time you've done it. So I know what all of these are. That's all, standard stuff. So I'm gonna archive it. And I love this button. It's just the arrow pointing down. Now in Gmail, as you may know, they don't really use folders. They use labels, and the labels look like folders on your left-hand side. But your inbox is separate from everything else. You have an inbox and you have all mail. So that mail that I archived isn't lost. I can go back to my More and click on All Mail, and then there they are. I've got these 4 emails that I've archived. Oh. Okay, so let's go back to our inbox and see here we got a new one while we were just chatting. getting started on Google+. All right, I'm going to archive that because I don't want to deal with that right now. So now my inbox, is nice and clean. All right, so what I want to do is I want to customize it a little bit. So I'm going to go into this little gear, which means settings, and I'm going to go down to the word themes, and I'm just going to pick something a little bit better than, the color it comes with. I'm going to pick Wasabi. I feel like that'll energize me, but you can pick whatever you want. Go back to inbox, and you can see. Don't go crazy with this. You want to spend time building your business, not making your little thing pretty. But you can take 1 second to click themes and pick a color so it's not that stark white. All right, so now let's go into settings. Now this is where I like to go right to the labs and pull in some things that I'm going to find useful. Labs are things that are like kind of in beta, they're being tested, although some of these have been in here for years, that make your experience of using Gmail a little bit better. So let's go through. Add any gadget by URL. You're going to want to enable this, and I'll show you why later. We don't need app search, authentication, no. Hang on. All right, we don't need authentication, auto advance, background send. Canned responses, yes, enable that. You're going to love canned responses. Google Calendar gadget, enable that. Google Docs gadget, enable that. I normally enable Google Docs preview. Google Voice Player, enable that. I use the mark as read button, enable that. I use multiple inboxes. Pictures in chat, I like to see pictures. I'm a visual person. Quick links doesn't work so hot anymore, so I would not use that. Right side chat, enable that. Okay, undo, send, undo. All right, so that's it. So save changes. It'll reload. And now that new stuff is available in the background. So what I did, I don't have any contacts yet, but if I did, they would start showing up here. So let me add a contact. I'm going to add myself. Now, for adding contacts in Gmail, you click on the drop down and then you switch the view to contacts. It's very empty because we don't have anybody yet. Circles is something having to do with Google Plus, which is kind of like Facebook for Google. Don't worry about that for right now. You want to use the groups that come with the contacts application. All right. So right now we only have one group called My Contacts. Let me add myself. Laureen Jandroep. And my email, I'm going to put Laureen.jandroep. Lower my energy bill now.us. Yes, I actually created that one. And you can put in phone numbers. Okay. And address if you have it. And the notes we're going to be making good use of. So now I've got a contact. My contacts, you'll see one in parentheses. Okay. So if I had 10 people here, all 10 would show up stacked on top of each other. But what's really awesome about this, as you think of people on your memory jogger list and you've written them down, come here and enter them. And then that way you can easily send them a text message, email them, call them, whatever contact methods they have that you've used with them in the past or want to start using with them. All right, so I'm going to add myself to a different group. If you click the icon with the 3 heads, which means groups, you'll see that I'm currently in the My Contacts group. I want to create a new group. And I'm going to call this a customer prospect. Now keep these short. because they only give you so much room on the left-hand side to see, and I'm going to see this might actually be too long. Let me try that. Yeah, see how it's cut off over here on the left? So I'm going to go into this new group I just made, and you're on it because it'll be highlighted. You click the, I'm going to accept this here, your default country for phone numbers is United States. Yes, accept. I'm going to go to rename group, and I need to think of a shorter thing. So I think what I did in mine is I use CUST prospect. Let's see how that works. There we go. Now it fits, and in parentheses it lets me know how many contacts are in there. And you can see it's nested under the overall My Contacts group. Don't bother trying to remove people from My Contacts. Let that be like kind of your master list. All right. Let's see here. Let me add another new contact. I'll add Anthony and his email. You guessed it. All right. So what happened here is because I was already in the customer prospect group, it automatically added him to this group. But I actually am like, oh, no, he's not a customer prospect. He's a consultant prospect. So I'm going to remove him from this customer one, go up to groups again, create a new one, and I'm going to call it consultant prospect. All right, so now we can see we have our two groups, customer prospect, consultant prospect. Each has one person each in there. Now, what I tend to do with the prospects, or I should say what we try and do, is use a tickler system. Now, if you've been in network marketing before, you've probably heard this recommendation. In the paper world, they would literally tell you to have folders, and each person would have a piece of paper in the folder. God forbid, I could never go back to the paper world. But for some of you, that's your comfort level. Whatever process works for you, just as long as you work it. So the concept was, for all your prospects, you would put them in a folder labeled 1 through 31, which day you wanted to follow up with them. So if you wanted to follow up with them on the 10th that month, you put them in the 10th. Then after your 1 through 31 folders, you would have a folder for every month. So whatever current month you're working in would be at the very, very back. So right now I'm recording this in March, so you'd have your March folder in back. And we're going to basically be replicating that same thing with Google Contacts using groups. So I'm not going to put in all the folders though. I'm only going to put them in as I need them and as I have contacts in them, because it doesn't have what do I want to say? You don't want to fill this all up with stuff that you're not going to be touching for a long, long time. So let's say we got on the phone and we talked to Anthony, and he's interested, but he's going away for a month to Europe, blah, 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 blah. So he wants us to follow up on him in a month. Okay, so I'm going to make a note, and today's the 18th. Spoke to him, is going away. Contact him in a month. Gave him link to the Ambit story, or whatever you want to do. I tend to use abbreviations, and I would normally type out TAS. And then I just normally put some little divider, straight lines, equal signs, whatever. Since my husband and I share our database, I normally do a quick LJ, and he does AJ if it's his note, so we know who put the note in. And we tend to put the notes on top of each other like this, and we put the latest one on top. It just makes it easier. So if I did a note on the 19th, I'd put it up here, And so now I've decided to contact him, and this is very key. If you don't do this part of the system, it's going to crumble. You need to put them in the right bucket or group every time you touch them. So if you're out and about and you've contacted someone while you were at the store and you were in line and you contacted someone on email or whatever, when you get back to your computer, or maybe your smartphone will let you do it, change their group. So I'm going to take, I mean, he's still a prospect, so I really don't need to take him out of here, but I'm going to add him to a new group in this case. I'm going to make a tickler group. Create new, and I'm going to put tickle. And in this case, we want to tickle him a month from now, so it's March, let's just say it's March 19th. I'm going to put 04 slash XX. That means contact him sometime in that month. And what I'm actually going to do is going to put 05 XX to give him some time to get back from vacation, blah, 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 and click OK. So now when I'm going through my prospect list, I can see here he's in my tickle prospect for May, and I didn't put a date. If I specifically wanted to contact him on the 19th, I would have put 0519. But I just putting people in that month bucket works much better than a specific date. So now I'm going to go look at my customer prospects, or my consultant prospects, and if I had, say, 10 people in here, whatever, I could quickly look over here and see that he's in the tickler file. So if I click on him, I can see he's supposed to be tickled in May. Okay, and a tickle really is just a term that they've used in marketing, but it really means, you know, email, phone, nowadays text message, whatever method works. It's a touch, and there you have it. So that he will, you know, if you come in and check your system every day and look at your tickle file, who you told yourself, your future self, to talk to that day or contact that day. And, you know, it's been said that it takes 6 to 12 contacts or touches or tickles before someone will really, you know, come over and be interested, whether it's as a customer or, you know, a consultant. So, you know, they don't have to be long. So you might actually want to put him in for the day he comes back. Say, hey, I know you just got back. Just want to say hi. You know, I'll reach out to you in a week. And so they're on your mind. Now maybe they're ready. So you know what? I'm ready. You know, rather than doing what I just did, said, I'll give him another 2 weeks to get, you know, that's me. That's what I would personally need. But a quick little tickle is much better than them thinking you forgot about them totally. Okay? So you can see the groups can really get huge. So now I'm still in contacts. I want to go back and check my mail. I can come here and go back to Gmail. And I'll see all my stuff down here as my emails come in. Now, these little dots here, what would have been here is the chat if I hadn't installed that lab to move chat over to the right. So I'm going to click on these 3 dots, and I want to see the other, I think they're called widgets that I had installed. So it installed a little calendar, so if I'm talking to someone or I'm trying to figure out dates and stuff, I can use that, but I can collapse it by clicking the minus sign. And then they have Google Docs. Now this is a whole other aspect of the system that is incredibly powerful in my mind. And if you haven't been using it, you're going to love this. You click on Drive. Now this is a new account, so every time you click on a new Google feature, sometimes it'll actually, you know, have you set it up or install it. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually install an application on your desktop, on your computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC, and any files you create in your Google Drive will actually appear on your local computer drive. And then you can share folders with other people, and they can, anything you put in that folder, they'll instantly see on their desktop, or they can go to it on the web. So because I already have Google Drive installed, I'm just going to leave it, the web version, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to click this download thing, but I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to create a starter document. You can do document, presentation, spreadsheet, forms, drawings. I tend to use documents and spreadsheets the most. Okay, and I'm actually going to create a folder first, and I'm going to just call it my Ambit stuff, because you might end up putting other things in here. So I'm going to go into my Ambit stuff folder, and now I'm going to create a document. And you just click up here where it says Untitled Document, give it a name, My First Document. Actually, what I like to call this is Cheat Sheet, or Shortcuts. And click OK. And I'm going to star this as a favorite so it's easy to get to. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy in Power Zone link. So you can get to your back office. And I made a hyperlink, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll just put Ambit website. If I could spell. And then whatever you want to create a hyperlink, you just highlight it and you click the chain link. And you just type in whatever the web address is, or it could be an email address. And put in here Ambit, I think it's ambit.com, I don't even know. Test this link, let's see. No, that's not good. There we go. So this is actually the correct URL. So I'm going to grab it, Control C, close this, change it, test this link. Yes, that's what we want to happen. Why don't we click on it, click OK. So now you have a handy dandy hyperlink. And when you click on it, you just click on that and it takes you to the page in a new tab. Love it. Okay. Let me go back to my folder. See, these are just opening up in separate tabs up on the top in your browser, whether it's Chrome or Firefox like we're using here. I'm going to create a second document. And I'm going to type my second document. Just going to copy that and put it in the body here. All right, and now this one I'm not going to star. I'm just going to close both of these and close my Google Drive, go back to Gmail. Now I'm going to click on Google Docs. Actually, I'm probably going to have to refresh because those are new. So just refresh your login. And we're going to go back to our little ellipsis, open up Google Docs. All right, so now my documents are showing up. I only have 2, but if I had a long list, they would all show up here. The great thing is if you use a smartphone, especially the Android ones, they're very heavily linked with Google. You can find apps to look up your documents if you want to. What I use this for is I only want to normally see my starred ones, my favorites. So I'm going to click this Show drop-down list and only pick ones that are starred. So now it's only showing me my Shortcuts one. So what I can do is just come in and click on that, and it opens it in a new tab. And as a matter of fact, that's what we do every time we're going to work on our Ambit business. We open up our Ambit Gmail account, we go to our Google Docs, and we click on our shortcuts. And so anything we want to be able to get to fast or give to customer fast, we have customer support phone number. We've got all the links to our business websites that you get when you sign up as a consultant. So this is a handy dandy little shortcut sheet to have. All right, so and then you can collapse this when you're done using it. All right, we have calendar. Now I'm going to show you how to add tasks. You can click on Gmail tasks, and it'll bring up this little box here. You can even undock it if you want by clicking this up arrow, and it'll be like a floating kind of like dialog box. But I actually like it when it's docked over here on the left. So there's a way you have to do that, and let me find that link for you. I'm just going to do a quick Google search. Google task list on left in Gmail. All right. I know it's here. It is. Doopy 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 doo. Okay. Okay, so here's the link that we want to grab here, this module/task. So if you remember, if you enable the Add Gadget by URL Lab, you can use this, which we did enable it earlier. So now we're going to grab this and go back into our settings. So the gear and then settings. And we want to go to, where did it go? Gadgets. Okay, because in labs we picked gadgets, that's why this is showing up. We're going to paste that URL here, click Add, and there's our task on the left. So we can put, let's see, add myself as Ambit customer. Look up grandma's phone number, whatever. You get the idea. You can use it for however you want. Okay, so now you've got your calendar, your documents, your tasks, and your email, and your ability to chat with people all in one screen. And maybe using some multiple tabs. Okay, so very, very powerful. You can obviously, you're probably already start thinking of ways that you want to customize it. And I'll show you some things that I did to customize it myself. I went into settings, and if you just go through each tab slowly and be thoughtful about each thing, language, English, yes, phone number's fine. Default style, if you like a different, look. I like the send and archive button to show when I'm doing an email and I reply and I want the email that's in my inbox to now be archived because I handled it. I took care of it. The send and archive button in reply I definitely use. If you use the stars for different reasons, some people use this in addition to their task list. I normally pick the 4-star list because you have to click on the star as many times to rotate through the list. This is too many, so 4 is good for us. I don't use keyboard shortcuts yet, but if you do, you could turn that on. Button labels, I leave it icons. Select a picture that everyone will see when you email them. I would definitely do this. You can use Picasa. You can pick a web address or no picture, but you want to browse on your file and grab a headshot, which I'm going to do right now. I know I have some headshots in here. Hang on, let me look this up. All right, so I'm going to put this headshot in. All right, and there it pulled it in, and you can just readjust the size. I don't want just my eyeball shown, but you can. You're getting something that looks good. All right, apply changes. So now there'll be a nice friendly face when they get an email if they have that turned on their end. Show the people widget, yes. Create contacts for autocomplete. This is good. So if someone emails you because you hand them your business card and they weren't in your database and they email you, it'll automatically add them to your contact list, which is what you do want. Signals for ads, no, leave that alone. Signature, yes, you should use a signature, and I'll share ours. And you can do anything that you want, but this way you don't have to type this over and over every time. So this is my husband's independent Ambit consultant. We have her phone number. We put the Why Ambit Works link in there, and again, same thing. We just highlighted the phrase, click the chain link. Oops, I undid it. Didn't mean to do that. And let me grab that again. So I'm going to highlight that, click the chain link, and now I'm going to add my URL. And remember, this is going to be your handle, right? Because you don't want them to go to my site. You want them to go to your site and sign up. And you can test the link. Make sure it opens the page that you want it to. Always test your links. Okay, and then click OK. So now we've got a signature. And this will go out every time. And see how it's nice and compact and neat and together. People don't like long, scrawly, 15-line signatures. It should be very small and compact. And you can even make it more compact if you wanted to. I see some people use that pipe, that vertical bar, and then just kind of do it this way. And that's kind of a nice look, or maybe you just want the two together. So it's just 3 lines. So, do what you want. You can use colors, but, don't go too crazy. And insert the signature before quoted text. I normally do this because otherwise it'll be at the very, very, very end of your email and they might not see it and they might not click on this hyperlink, which is what you want them to do. Snippets, vacation responder, we're not going to use that. All right, so we're going to save changes. So now when I hit compose, it brings in our signature. And because we have someone in our database, if I start typing L for Laureen, since I was in the contacts, it's going to pull me up. So I just have to grab it, and now away I go. Put my subject, and away it goes. So I'm just going to put test message. And if you hover down here, you have to kind of click on it to get everything to show up. But you can attach a file. You can share something from that Google Drive. So as you get a downline or something like that and they use Google Drive, you can share the document and then you don't have to put an attachment on. They can literally go to the very existing document in the Google Cloud there. You can attach a photo and you can add another link. Smiley, if you want to add a smiley. We'll just go pick that one. All right, or you can trash it. This is where we can get into canned responses. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me just send this so that you can see. That's all it does. It says your message has been sent. If you ever need to check what you sent, just go over on the left, click Sent Mail. And again, sent mail and everything is all in the same bucket called All Mail. This is just a filter of all mail on things that have been sent. Okay? So this lets you know in date order what was sent. Now I'll show you something else that I like to use. You can go to contacts by clicking on, contacts. I don't like bibbity-bopping back and forth like that. And actually sometimes I like to be in an email and look at the contact in another tab. So there is a link to get directly to your own contacts. Let me grab it here. And I'm actually going to put it on our shortcuts page so I have it. Google Contacts. I'm going to do my little chain link fence, paste my link in. This is what it is, google.com/contact/u/2/pound/contacts. Now you can tell why I want to do a hyperlink. All right, so I'm going to click on that. Because I'm logged in as this Lori Brackett test, these are the two contacts, if you remember. Remember we had one consultant prospect, one customer prospect, and one that's in the tickle. So 2 total, and this is how these are spread out. So now I can go back and forth, and this is what I like to do. I like to separate out my contacts. Oops. I guess, there we go. And then I just resize it to go on the right. And then I put my email to go on the left. So there I have side-by-side view. You can do that. You can do it on up and down, whatever, works best for you. So now I can go to my Gmail on the left, my little lime green thing here. And go through my contacts that way. So now we've just reached out to this Laureen Jandroep person. So I'm going to click on her, and I'm getting ready to contact her again. But I want to make sure, what is I'm pretty sure I sent her an email. What was that? There's a couple ways you can do it. The easiest way is on her contact record, just click the More menu and go down to View Recent Conversations. And it will literally launch a new tab and do a search for any email or text messaging or anything you did in this account. And here we can see the test message that we just sent. All right, now another way, if I'm already in Gmail, I could just start typing her name. If you've had any contact with that person, it's going to give you this these drop-down choices. So just pick that and search, and it does this, the same thing. Okay. So just close those tabs as you're done working them. But I like that. You can put it back in with your main window and maximize it and just go back and forth this way, which is still easier, than doing it by using this thing here. All right, I'm going to show you something else that's really, really cool. You can get to a lot of Google things off this main menu off the top. You can get to your Drive from here, your Gmail, your calendar. You have a calendar here, but if you want to see the big one, just click that, and it puts on a whole big page. Let's set our time zone. We're in Eastern. What is your default reminder? So if you have a phone appointment to call someone, how much in advance do you want to be reminded? This is set up by default. Email by 30 minutes, pop-up 30 minutes. I'm going to do email 30 minutes, but I'm going to change my pop-up to be 10 minutes. And I can even have it text me to call someone. And then you just set up a code to do that. Very cool. And then start using calendar. So now any appointments I put on here, so today's 3:18 and it's around 4:30. So let me put in an appointment here. Call Laureen Jandroep to discuss opportunity. And I'm just going to put BP, business presentation. You'll get your own little abbreviations because again, this is for you. So when we come back to our mail, I'm going to refresh this screen. And when I click on calendar now, I'll see my call Laureen. So when I'm looking at what am I doing today, I get my quick little view here, but my big view here. All right, so that's kind of nice to give you an overall view. So if you're trying to schedule a call with someone, you can see your overall view. Now, if you're in our downline, or if not, you can email me, and I'll share a calendar with you with like kind of online meetings for consultants. And actually, I'm going to do that right now. I have two screens here, so if you're wondering how I'm doing this, that's how. One's off camera. Okay, so I just sent an email from my real Ambit business account to this test one as if I was a new marketing consultant. And I'll show you that it's going to be a canned response. I'll click inbox. Okay, here it is. Congratulations and welcome. So this is a canned response that we've made and we tweak as we get new consultants, and it gives all the the getting started info. What I wanted to get to is that we've got this calendar stuff. So if I click on this first one, it's a web calendar. So this is like a web view, which is good and helpful for other people. But what's more powerful is if you pull in the ICS version, this link here, because it actually pulls it into your calendar. So I'm going to just click on that, and it's going to say it's an iCal calendar. So we're going to say open with iCal. I don't know if that's what I want to do actually. Hang on. Let's try it and see. Okay, so what you need to do is grab this link, and let's try and paste it into our calendar here. Add friends calendar. So we're in our calendar, and when you open up or expand, you'll see there's just a Lori bracket calendar and a tasks calendar that we can have another side view of that. But if we paste it in here, let's see what happens. It's not valid. All right, hang on. All right, let me try the URL one. Let's get rid of this. That one's not working. Hang on. All right, this time I'm trying the XML one. All right, so I think what I have to do is have to directly invite people. All right. Oh, add by URL. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. If you know the address to a calendar, so iCal was what I needed originally. Let me go back and grab that. I just kind of forgot what I was doing for a minute. All right, so copy link location and paste that in. There we go. Add calendar. It's already publicly accessible, so we don't need to do that. Ah, wonderful. I love this. So now in yellow, we're seeing our personal appointments, and in this orange striped look, we're seeing the calendar that I just pulled in from our Ambit meetings. So I can see today at 8:30 we have a live web training, and if I want more details, I can click on that and see anything that the person who created this put in there. So it's pretty cool. I love this. Now if you want to turn it off, you can just come here and just uncheck it, and the color will you'll see everything go away and the color will disappear. If you want it back on, you just click on it. It's like a little toggle switch. Contacts birthdays, I take that off. Use holidays, you can take that off. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now they do not show up in this little widget on the side. Only your main calendar shows up there. So this will, and that's probably better because you don't want it cluttered up with all of these optional meetings, although we do highly encourage them. You really want to see people you're supposed to be contacting that you promised to call at a certain time. Use your calendar as your really hard landscape of things you want to follow, where you promise someone that you'd call them at a certain time and you've made an appointment, versus I'll call you on Wednesday. If you're going to call them on Wednesday, then that's going to be in your tickler for that particular day on Wednesday. Okay? All right, another wonderful feature that you don't even see from these menus up here is get a Google number, and then you can separate out your work phone from your home phone, and it's free. So if you go to voice.google.com, once you're logged into your Ambit Business Google account, it's only available in the US. You'll be required to verify with your own phone number, so we accept those terms. Proceed. Set up your Google Voice. You can choose a brand new number, or you can use an existing one. We want a brand new one. And before choosing a Google Voice number, please add a forwarding phone that will ring when that number is called. So this is where you would put in like a cell phone or a home line or something like that. So I'll put in one of my numbers and click continue. Now I recommend you put your cell phone in here. And I need to verify this, so hang on. Okay, so I just had it call me, and literally it just said, what's the number showing on your screen? I entered 24, and now it's connected. It also prompted me if I wanted to record my my voicemail thing, which I highly recommend you do at that point. Just easier to get it over and done with. So, like ours just says, "Hi, you've reached Laureen and Anthony, please leave your phone number. We'll get back to you as soon as I can." So whatever you want yours to say, short and sweet. Again, some people that you're giving out your business card, that they're calling you back and they don't really necessarily know what it's about. So you might want to be a little bit more generic. It's up to you. It's your choice. Okay, and when anyone calls this number, it will ring all of your phones. Area code, zip code, or city, and or phrase. I'm trying to remember what. Oh, this is to help you choose your new number. So if you want your new number to match where you are locally, like we did, we just put in 609, and we told it to search numbers. And it brings up a bunch of choices. So if any of these look good to you, grab it. I like this 1370. Click next. Oh, no. We're going to take this. Next is if you don't like any of them. Oops. And the word or phrase is if you want it to like spell something, if you want to be real crafty that way. All right, and I clicked continue, and it brought me back to this congratulations screen. I don't know why this keeps going off the window here. All right, so this is my new number, 416-1370, which is actually going to, that's my Google phone number, and it's going to dial. It's going to ring here on my computer if I set it up to, or it's going to forward to my cell phone. So now it's really great when you get a call on this, it'll actually kind of screen the call. It asks the person to say their name, and then it dials you. And if you are, in the middle of something and you can't talk, you can screen it. And so if it's not your spouse calling or something like that, you can let it go to voicemail. And the great thing is the voicemail will then be transcribed and show up in your inbox. So everything comes to this Gmail account, which is awesome. And so it gives you that nice little welcome voicemail, which is kind of cool. And this is basically like a voice inbox. And you can even get text messages here. So if someone, if you give out this number and they text it, you will get it in your email. You can even get fancy and play around with the settings and get it to show up in your cell phone, but that's beyond the scope of this training video. It's already going long enough as it is. But again, just like Gmail, all the settings, you use the gear, click on settings. Right now it's forwarding to the Google chat. which shows up over here on the right hand side. Let me just refresh this screen. Okay, so here I see this. If I want to call me, I can call a person. This is your Google Voice. It'll actually call through your computer. So if you've got like a headset and microphone set up, you can make calls, your business calls, through your computer. And your phone number that you just set up, that, in our case it's that 609-416 number, is going to show on their caller ID. Very, very cool. Love it. So let me just try something here. So if I call it, it starts dialing, and then I can end the call. I can mute my microphone. That just shrinks it down. So I'm going to end the call in this case. Definitely better to have a headset versus the voice coming out the speaker, because you'll get feedback. But play around, like, call someone and say, would you help me test my phone out? And play around, and you could just do everything through Gmail. And again, it's free. It's free. All right, let me go back to Google Voice. Let's look at the settings. Now you could also, if you want to make that call that if someone called us, it's going to go to that Google chat and it's going to go to my home line. I could add other phones. I could add 2 cell phones if you want one to go to a husband and wife. Maybe you're done and you just want to turn everything off. You can come in and just say, don't forward it anywhere. It's going to go right to voicemail. Then come back on when you're ready to take business calls. Click on that. It's pretty cool. And just as a reminder, your number will always be there. All right. So I'm actually going to call that with my little Skype account I have here. And I'm entering the number now, 609-416-1370. I know you can't hear it. I'll just leave a recording so you can see what's going to happen.
Please state your name after the tone.
Oh, maybe you can hear it.
To try to connect you.
Laureen, Jandroep. So now it's trying to dial. And that's what they would hear if you can hear that noise. So it's giving you time to answer. Right now this is forwarding to my home.
The subscriber you have called is not available.
Not available.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, this is just a test message. Bye. Okay, so I ended the call. Someone in Google Land is actually going to transcribe this, and it's going to show up in our voicemail, in our inbox. Okay, so coming back to my inbox, I'm going to close my little call window here. Again, I can access it through here. Here's my welcome to Google Voice. It'll let you know, it'll give you all these training things, how to do it. Just follow them. I don't need to repeat what Google's already done very well, but for me, I know it. I'm going to archive it. Here's my new voicemail. I didn't answer it. It was transcribed. Remember I said, hi, this is just a test. Bye. Pretty accurate. So very nice. If I want to replay it and hear their voice, I can just click this.
Hi, this is just a test message. Bye.
Isn't that cool? So this was because I installed that gadget. Remember when we went to the labs and I said let the voicemail play in the email? Otherwise it would open in a new tab, and you could listen to it that way. But this is all convenient. It keeps it right in your inbox. If you have a smartphone, you can normally play it and be able to hear it okay. It might prompt you to install the Google Voice app, but very, very cool. So when you're making calls from your cell phone to an Ambit customer, if you want the number to show up to be this business number versus your personal cell, then you can dial your cell phone using Google Voice. So check all that out. I mean, the possibilities are really endless, but this is just, to get you started. We use both. We use our regular cell and we use our business number, but when we give out the number for people to call us, we give out our Google number because we know it's going to ring to our cell phones, and if we don't answer, it's going to go to it's going to be transcribed and show up in our inbox. So we will not lose anybody. We don't have to dial a number to listen to voicemail and type it out. It comes right in your inbox for you. Okay? Now, another cool thing is if I grab this number and I go back to my contacts, and again, this was Laureen Jandroep calling. I didn't know this number, so I'm going to add a new phone number and pop this in. I'm just going to leave it as work number. Okay? So now, when I come back here and I click on View Recent Conversations, I think I have to refresh this. Hang on. All right, I thought that would search on the number, but it doesn't. But you could, if you knew that they left a voicemail, you could just search on the phone number, and that would certainly work. And it brings up the voicemail there. Okay. All right, what else to show you? Sorry about that. Feeding time at the zoo. Okay, so that's the voicemail. If I want to make a task of it, I can. I can, you know, trigger the fact that I need to call this person. But again, it's all right here in the inbox. And my thing is I like it to be, inbox 0. So I have 2 items in here that I want to, take care of. Did I address this? Actually, I'm going to make a task to remind myself to let me see, pull package together and mail to Laureen Jandroep. Okay, so you can do things like that. Now, if it was, I wouldn't use your task list to, have you call people on a certain day or an exact time. If it's a certain day, use your tickler system. Okay. If it's a certain time and day, use your calendar. Okay, so I'll say that again. If it's a general task, use your task list. If you want to follow up with a person on a specific day, but you don't have an appointment set, use your tickler system. Find their contact record, and then I just put Google Voice in here. I could add that to my tickle in May, or I can just create a new one, tickle, 0320. Create them on the fly, delete them on the fly. That's fine. So Google Voice is I'm just playing with that as a customer. If you do have a specific time, you made an appointment for, tonight at 8, then you're going to use your calendar. And I believe you can come right over here. I'm going to shrink my tasks. Add. See this little blue hyperlink? Add. And a quick add, I'm going to say, oops. Oh, it's already, the cursor's already in there. Call Laureen at 8 p.m. Quick add. So I think it's going to assume today. Let's take a look at the calendar and see. Ha, love it. Look at that. Call Laureen at 8 p.m. There it is. If you need to make more details, just, edit the event. She called. She wants to change it to 9. Save. Done. Boom. And when I come back to here, and I think I have to refresh this. You refresh it, and there it is. Now it's 9 o'clock. You just click on the link. Shows you the more details. And if I had put the phone number in, that would have been smart. It would show up, or you just know to go to their, find that person in your contact list and call them. And so you get ready to call them. Now this is cool. If you are using your Google Voice at the computer, oops, you can just copy the phone number and then go to your phone number thing and paste it in and just hit call. Pretty convenient. You can do video calls if you're using Google Chat, but again, that'll be for another thing. So, and this is just the beginning. of what you can do with it, but it's a great way to organize and follow up on leads. That's what you want to do. You want to get your list of people in here. So when you set a goal, and goals are extremely important, and your goal is to make so many new contacts a day. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10. The more you put in that funnel, the more customers and consultants you'll get. And that's what our business is, gathering a handful of consultants and customers. So develop a funnel system. Just put your people, as you think of people, throw them in this database. Okay? Now, if you have contacts already in another like Google account or an Outlook or something else, if you export those people to a spreadsheet, get rid of the ones you don't want. You can come here in your contact screen and let me see, let me go back to all contacts, more, import. And it needs to be in that CSV format, comma, separated values, I think that means. And it can come from Outlook, Outlook Express, any spreadsheet. And then you browse for the file on your hard drive, you pull it in, and then it'll import everybody into your database. You might have to do some cleaning up, but what will happen is, even if you already have them in your new database, it will allow you to merge duplicates, and that will be based on email or phone number. And down here in your groups, you'll have a new group that says imported and whatever date you just did the import. So you could just click on that group and give it a new group name. You could rename it, or you can add them to an existing group. So you get the idea. So at any rate, I know this was a little long. I hope it was helpful. I am very sorry for the background noise, but I just wanted to get this out there to help people. So email me your comments at Laureen at lowermyenergybillnow.us. Thanks a lot. Happy prospecting.